You're listening to Full Circle Weekly News. These articles are compiled by Eric the Unready, and I'm your host, Moss Bliss. This is episode 356, covering Week 9, February 26th to March 3rd, 2024. TinyCore Linux 15.0 has been published for systems with at least 48 megabytes of RAM. The GUI is built on the TinyXX server, the FLTK toolkit, and the FLWM window manager. The distribution is loaded entirely into RAM and runs from memory. The bootable ISO image takes up only 18 megabytes. For 64-bit systems, a Core Pure 64 assembly and Core Plus build have been prepared, including a number of additional packages such as a set of window managers, an installer with the ability to install additional extensions, and a ready-made set of tools to provide output to a network. KiCad 8.0.0 has been published under the wing of the Linux Foundation. Builds are prepared for Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. The code is written in C++ using the WXWidgets library and is licensed under the GPL v3 license. KiCad provides tools for editing electrical circuits and printed circuit boards, 3D visualization of the board, working with a library of electrical circuit elements, manipulating Gerber templates, simulating the operation of electronic circuits, editing printed circuit boards, and project management. The project also provides libraries of electronic components, footprints, and 3D models. Tails 6.0 has been created based on Debian and intended for anonymous access to a network provided by the Tor system. All other connections are blocked by the packet filter by default. Encryption is used to store user data in the save user data between runs mode. An ISO image capable of working in live mode has been prepared. The developers of KWinFT have announced that they are renaming the project Theseus Ship, are moving development from GitLab to GitHub, and are releasing Theseus Ship 6.0. Theseus Ship supports Wayland and X11, is aimed at KDE Plasma, and can be used as a transparent replacement for Kwin. The project code is written in C++ and is distributed under the GPL v2 license. Theseus Ship differs from Kwin by significant internal processing and the use of the compositor module libraries, which can be used as base units for creating composite managers for Wayland and X11. Como is initially developed with KDE integration in mind, but can be used in other desktop environments. Como actively uses C++ templates, which makes it easy to replace functions and make changes to the operating logic. OpenGL is used to flatten the output. The new release has transitioned to Qt6 and is adapted for use with KDE Plasma 6. The devs added support for rendering using the OpenGL drivers Lima, VC4, and V3D. Visual effects have been expanded and redesigned. To run X11 applications in the Wayland environment, XWayland is automatically launched. They also added support for Wayland extensions for configuring output devices and for sandbox isolation. The server Linux distribution XentYall 8.0 was published, built on Ubuntu 22.04 LTS package base, and specialized for servicing the local network of small and medium businesses. The distribution is positioned as an alternative to Windows Server and includes components to replace Microsoft Active Directory and Microsoft Exchange Server services. The commercial edition of the distribution is kept separate, while packages with XentYall components are available to Ubuntu users through the standard Universe repository. All aspects of the distribution are managed through a web interface, which integrates about 40 different modules for managing the network, network services, Office server, and enterprise infrastructure components. The distro supports fast rollout operation of a gateway, firewall, mail server, VoIP, VPN server, proxy, file server, a system for organizing employee interaction, a monitoring system, a backup server, a network security system, etc. All modules are configured through Wizard and do not require manual editing of configuration files. Evgeny Roshal has released the RAR 7.0 archiver. The UNRAR source code continues to be available but is distributed under a restrictive license agreement. Ready-made builds are generated for Linux, Mac OS, Windows, Android, and FreeBSD. The Open Collective Foundation has decided to close at the end of 2024. Several independent legal entities are involved in maintaining the Open Collective ecosystem, which provides services for the collection of donations and financing of nonprofit projects. The reason for the closure of the Open Collective Foundation is the inefficiency of the business model used, taking into account the number of complex services provided and the commissions paid by Open Collective Inc. At the end of last year, the organization suspended accepting new applications and tried to develop a strategy to solve the financial problems that had arisen, but in the end they decided that the organization was not viable. DistroBox 1.7 has been published, allowing you to quickly install and run any Linux distribution in a container and ensure its integration with the main system. The project code is written in Shell and distributed under the GPLv3 license. The project provides an add-on for Docker, Podman, or LilyPod. To create an environment with another distribution, just run one DistroBox create command. DistroBox forwards the user's home directory to the container, configures access to the X11 and Wayland server to run graphical applications from the container, allows you to connect external drives, adds audio output, and implements integration at the SSH agent, dbus, and UDEV levels. Vivaldi 6.6 has been published with prepared builds for Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. The browser interface is written in JavaScript using the React library, the Node.js platform, Browserify, and various ready-made NPM modules. The implementation of the interface is available in source code but under a proprietary license. The browser is presented by the former Opera developers aiming to create a customizable browser that preserves the privacy of user data. Key features include a tracking and ad blocker, note, history, and bookmark managers, private browsing mode, synchronization protected by end-to-end encryption, tab grouping mode, sidebar configurator, horizontal tab display mode, and also, in test mode, a built-in email client, RSS reader, and calendar. EOS 120, a mobile platform aimed at maintaining the confidentiality of user data and forked from Lineage OS, has been presented. The project provides firmware for many popular smartphone models and also offers editions of the OnePlus One, Fairphone 3 Plus and 4, and TerraCube 2e smartphones under Morena brands with pre-installed EOS firmware. A total of 224 smartphones are officially supported. The EOS firmware is freed from binding to Google services and infrastructure, which allows both maintaining compatibility with Android applications and blocking the transfer of telemetry and other information to Google or other servers. The user interface includes its own environment for launching applications, an improved notification system, a new lock screen, and a different style. Muscle 1.2.5 is presented, providing a libc implementation that is suitable for use on desktop PCs, servers, and mobile systems, combining full support for standards with a small size, low resource consumption, and high performance. There is support for all required C99 and POSIX 2008 interfaces, as well as C11 partially, and a set of extensions for multi-threaded programming, memory management, and working with locales. The Muscle code is provided under the free MIT license. GRML 2024.02 based on Debian has been released. The live distribution contains a selection of programs for performing operations on processing text data using the Text Tools package and for performing system administration tasks. The graphical environment is built using the Fluxbox window manager. Proxmox Mail Gateway 8.1 is out, presented as a ready-made solution for creating a system for monitoring mail traffic and protecting an internal mail server. Distribution-specific components are licensed under the AGPLv3 license. Both a paid enterprise repository and 2 free repositories are available, which differ in the level of update stabilization. The system part of the distribution is based on Debian. It is possible to install Proxmox Mail Gateway components on top of existing Debian-based servers. Proxmox Mail Gateway functions as a proxy server, acting as a gateway between the external network and an internal mail server based on MS Exchange, Lotus Domino, or Postfix. You can manage all incoming and outgoing mail flows. All correspondence logs are parsed and available for analysis via the web interface. Both graphs are provided to assess overall dynamics as well as various reports and forms to obtain information about specific letters and delivery status. It supports the creation of cluster configurations to ensure high availability or load balancing. Menuet OS 1.50 has been published, coded entirely in assembler. Menuet OS builds are prepared for 64-bit x86 systems and can be run under QEMU. The system build is created both as a floppy disk image and an ISO image. Running in VirtualBox is supported. The project's code is distributed under a modified MIT license, which requires approval for any commercial use. The system supports preemptive multitasking, booting on UEFI systems and SMP on multicore systems. It also develops its own X server and provides a built-in graphical user interface with support for themes, drag-and-drop operations, UTF-8 encoding, and switching keyboard layouts. The project also developed a simple HTTPC web browser, mail and FTP clients, a VNC client, FTP and HTTP servers, applications for viewing images, editing text, working with files, watching videos, playing music. You can run a DOS emulator and games such as Quake and Doom. You've been listening to Full Circle Weekly News. For more details, see the next issue of the magazine at fullcirclemagazine.org or check the links in the show notes. You can contact me at bardmoss@pm.me. I'll see you next week.